Hello and welcome to Points of Interest. I'm one of your hosts, Jake, along with my co-host, James, over here.
Hey, guys.
If you're new to the show, each week we come to you with video game news from around the internet.
Ooh, fancy.
Yes, around the internet. You can get the show on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher for the audio versions, or YouTube and VidMe for the video versions. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at IR Games. Stay up to date with the latest things that we're doing. We'll tweet out links for the videos, for our Let's Plays during the week, and any other just fun things we do. Today, the show will be a little bit different. Tell us about that, James.
Yes, that was a really good intro. You're getting super smooth at that. You must have been practicing in the mirror.
Got this rigmarole down.
I'm really proud of you. So today we're doing a little bit different format. If you guys haven't been watching our channel this week, I'm sad, but that's okay. I'll get over it.
You have 40 videos to go catch up on just from the last 3 days.
We've got E3 videos all over the place from covering the different conferences. We're going to be coming out with the best of E3 here really soon, so be on the lookout for that. But today we are doing an overall recap / discussion of E3 in all its mediocre glory, right? If you want a little spoiler for what it's
the
going to be like.
aggressive mediocrity that is E3 2017.
And so today we've got a special guest. We talked to you guys a little bit about this in recent videos.
We teased it a touch.
I teased it with some of our friends. And we've got Ravel from A Geek Out of Place. And he does stuff on YouTube. And you can find him at Twitter. On Twitter at Ravel Lopez. It's spelled like it sounds, I think. So Ravel, go ahead and give us a quick intro to what you do on your channel.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm Ravel. I host A Geek Out of Place on YouTube. It's mostly Let's Plays, but it's all video game content. I mostly do Let's Plays. I do unboxings. What else do I do? Opinion pieces, video game song covers. I have a lot of fun there.
I like it. You did rant one time on how your Xbox
Oh my
broke.
god.
That one.
Yeah, that was a recent.
You could see like the frustration
the
in his
rage
eyes.
in his face.
That recent. I mean, like one of my favorite games ever. I decided not to pop it out. Skyrim. Yeah.
Did you ever get it out, or
Nope,
is it
still in there.
Oh no. God,
But
that sucks.
I have the opportunity to
sad.
replace it with something even better, right?
That's true. We're going to talk about that today.
I say, well, good news. If your Xbox broke, you have the opportunity to get the Xbox One X.
Ooh, boom! Segway.
Segway
Beautiful.
master.
All right, so we finally got some details on the Xbox One X. If you guys haven't heard about it yet this week, well, you're going to hear about it now. A little bit of just some of the numbers for you before we get into it. We got November 7th release date worldwide. Cool that it's a worldwide release date. A lot of times they stagger those things. We got 6 teraflops of GPU, and I promise that's a real number. My wife is still not convinced that word teraflops is weird.
I mean, I'll live up here and say whoever came up with the word flop to put inside as a measurement needs to be fired.
Yeah, I don't even understand it because it's supposed to mean floating point operations, but that's not where the letters are in the acronym. I don't know.
Yeah.
We've got a 1.172 gigahertz GPU, which is just a super weird, obscure number to pick. You couldn't have just rounded up, gone like 1.2. All right, fine.
Couldn't just push the gas pedal a little bit harder.
12 gigs of GDDR5. That's actually really impressive. You didn't see DDR5 like this a few years ago. Memory bandwidth off the charts, 326 gigabytes. True 4K, 8+ million pixels, HDR, wide color gamut, Dolby Atmos, 4K, Ultra HD Blu-ray. That sounds beautiful. What do you think, Ravel?
Yeah, say, Ravel, you're more into Xbox than we are.
Yes, I am a huge Xbox fan, going way back since the beginning. And this excites the hell out of me. Excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
It excites me a lot because, I don't know. I mean, I don't, like my gaming PC is a potato and a half. And, and this is an easy way to get like hardcore high-end PC components in front, just on your entertainment center in front of your TV. Mm-hmm. It's amazing to me.
Yeah, you do. Now for your setup, we do all our stuff in our living room. We don't have like a fancy office for it. So when you have your Xbox, are you playing like with like a smaller TV, like right in front of you, or do you have like that in a separate place, like in your living room or something?
Well, I have a dedicated den office. It's my like man cave, I call it, and because I don't know, and I honestly don't remember if the Xbox One X has this, but the Xbox One has the HDMI pass-through.
Right.
So
I think it does have it. I saw a picture of the back and it had multiple HDMI ports on it.
Awesome.
So I'd imagine it has the pass-through.
I'm happy for that because almost everything is running through that Xbox, and the Xbox goes to a capture card, which goes to my PC. And when I sit down to record, I just pop out the HDMI cord that goes to my TV to a monitor on my desk.
Oh.
Okay.
Right on.
Yeah.
Sweet. So do you have, is your monitor like a 4K super nice awesome monitor?
No, I wish. No, just
4K
it's like
G-Sync monitor.
It's like a 5-year-old 1080p monitor. I mean, it does the job.
Yeah,
the,
no, that's perfectly serviceable.
the nice thing about even the Xbox One S and now the Xbox One X is that a lot of these games will be rendered in 4K and sampled down. So
That's true.
the performance is even really good on just 1080p TVs.
Yeah, I mean that's the goal. I mean they mentioned that from the stage, which is good.
Yeah,
when
that
you're
was a good plug
when
to
you're
those of
looking
us
at
that
this
don't
stuff,
have 4K TVs.
you did that. It's the same thing with the PS4 Pro.
Yep.
We talked a lot about the PS4 Pro when we got news about that, but it's the same thing. They can render it in 4K and super sample down. Same process.
Yeah.
Just slightly different specs. We're looking at about without getting into all the numbers, about a 30% performance difference between GPU and CPU kind of combined from the PS4 Pro to the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
Which I would hope so with a year's head start.
Yeah, it's a 30% performance increase. It's not quite a 30% price increase over it. And I imagine the price comes down in not too long. They'll run a sale on it next year during the holidays. So
I am
it's not
indeed.
that big a
I'm
deal.
looking at an article real quick, and it does have 4K pass through on the Xbox One X.
There you go.
Right
So-
on.
which I would expect if you're going to put out a 4K console, it needs to go all the way through.
Yeah.
One of the cool things I thought here, they mentioned it and they showed it, but it didn't really click with me until you look at the size. But the smallest Xbox ever, right? Smaller than the Xbox One,
That's
smaller
what they
than
say.
the S. I mean, the way that they show the picture on it and the controller is almost as big as the console.
Yeah.
That's impressive. I mean, that's impressive.
I thought that was really cool. What did you think of them leading off the One X presentation with Forza Motorsport 7? like we're not we're not in the Xbox ecosystem, so it's like, okay, it's Forza, cool, it's another racing game. Like we have
I'm not
some racing
surprised.
games, but not
I'm
pillars.
I'm not surprised at all by it. Forces. I mean, racing games have traditionally been like, if you want to see beautiful graphics for new hardware, you're going to go to your racing games.
That's fair. Yeah,
but
that's true.
when
It did look really good.
yeah,
So
I'm personally not a fan of the Forza main series games. I like the Horizon series better, but even then, I'm not a big racing guy. But it was kind of cool for them to pull out to reveal the brand new Porsche on stage there.
yeah, that car looks awesome.
Yeah.
It looks so. I have conflicting opinions on this, right? Because Forza Motorsports is very much like a driving simulator, right? It's the hardcore thing, and then they pull out this 2018 Porsche 911 GT2 RS. Looks gorgeous. It also looks like a Porsche. I mean, there was nothing sling stunning about it.
Porsche design hasn't
wow,
really
that
changed
looks
since,
so
like,
different
the
than
70s.
10 years ago. Porsche. It doesn't. It's the same stupid
It's a
car.
Porsche with a spoiler.
My question here: Who are they marketing to with this? I get that, oh man, we always do all the big cars.
You
at
Xbox folks have a lot
international
more money than
auto
us
shows.
PlayStation folks.
But what gamers watching that and be like, man, I could drive the car from the game. Sold. What's
Yeah,
that all about?
I mean, I can't even tell you, to be honest. It's definitely not for me.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
yeah. It
that
was
open
cool.
road.
It's a cool opportunity. They've never done something like that outside of international auto shows. And then they were bragging about a 6-year marketing deal with Porsche and Forza. It's weird. How many people drive Porsches that are looking for a video game to play of them driving the car they already own?
I feel like there's more fantastical looking cars than Porsche to partner up with.
yeah, like Ferrari or
Or
Lamborghini.
Lamborghini.
Come on
or,
now, Bugatti.
Bugatti. Well, Bugatti, Pagani,
Literally anything else.
any other supercar maker that's not Porsche. Whatever.
Oh, man.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I can't even
Yeah,
tell you there, guys.
Yeah, it looks good. But again, driving. I don't know how much the Xbox population that appeals to. Maybe
Probably
there's
very little.
maybe there's more than I know. Maybe we don't have driving sims on PlayStation outside of Gran Turismo, and those come out once every 35 years.
Who cares?
So we don't. Is a driving sim a bigger deal than we think it is for Xbox people? Or?
I think for people that play racing games, it's driving sims, but for the rest of us, it's it's whatever.
I get too frustrated with those.
Yeah.
I accidentally slipped my finger off my thumbstick. My car exploded in a fiery ball of hate. I don't know. I like arcade stuff. That's me. And you're not really big on any kind of racing, right, Ravel?
I'm not, actually. Not at all.
Okay.
The Horizon games,
Fair enough.
I like the Horizon games more just because they're open world. They're more focused around the events and not the hardcore sim that Forza Motorsports is. So it's not for me, really.
Yeah, Horizon from last year looked really fun.
did.
I've played some demos of it, at Best Buy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this is kind of fun to be in, but it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't sell me an Xbox.
Yeah, it's more arcadey, but
Yeah. Yes,
we also have
definitely.
arcade drivers on on our club. We had Drive Club.
Got Need for Speed everywhere.
Drive Club was quite possibly the worst launch in the history of any game ever. But it was still once you got to it and they fixed everything, it was actually a really
It's
fun
one of those
game.
things that like I'm still not sure Drive Club's even out.
All right.
It was just there. And speaking of things people kind of don't care about, Assassin's Creed Origins.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Now, is this the game I heard somewhere? And maybe it was us. I feel like I've spent my entire week with you, James. Is this game doesn't actually run at 4K, does it? Or it wasn't running at 4K at E3?
So what they're saying, and this was something they didn't address on stage, right? They just talked about how it looked really good.
not
What
a
they
sales
called it
pitch.
is a dynamic 4K, and the resolution is supposed to adjust based on what's happening in the game
Okay.
to aid rendering. So, I mean, it's just, it bothers me because they jump out with Forza and they're like, native 4K, 60 frames per second. I'm like, well, that's because there's
That's
nothing
pretty
on the
amazing.
screen to look at, but whatever. And then they come out with Assassin's Creed. It's like, it's pretty.
Native resolution at native frame rate.
So I don't know.
Buzzwords,
What do
marketing.
you think about it? The origins and the resolution and all that
As
stuff.
far as the resolution and frame rate go, I don't know. I'm not really surprised by that fact. It's a multi-platform game, and
Right.
it's not going to be specifically optimized just for the Xbox, even though they showed it in the Xbox press conference. I can understand it. It's not the game on its own though is freaking gorgeous looking. Watching
Yeah.
It does look really cool.
watching the gameplay of it back, it's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really good. Assassin's Creed games always have looked pretty good.
Yeah,
right?
they've always done kind of cool environments. 'Cause, I mean, starting with like the Crusade times, moving on to Italy and running around in like Rome and stuff, and then you jump into 3 with like the Revolutionary War style thing was really cool, and then Syndicate. I don't remember where Unity was, but Syndicate set in Victorian England, and there's like these really cool environments that it's fun to exist in.
Yeah, totally.
And, yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to. I don't know. This is one of those games I'm not going to pre-order.
Definitely
I'm
not.
definitely gonna wait till it comes out because that Syndicate just burned me.
Well, there's no benefit to pre-ordering something like this, right? You don't have like this huge multiplayer, like important thing to have day one. Your single player is going to be the same now as it is in 6 months, except it's probably going to be bug free because it's Ubisoft, right?
Right.
Hmm.
Are you a big Assassin's Creed guy? Val?
You know, I used to be, until it got really repetitive. And Unity was the one that I was like, no, thank you. I'm not touching that anymore.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I stopped at Unity. I played the console games. I didn't like play the Vita games or mobile games or
Oh,
anything
no.
like that. But like from 1 through Black Flag, I played all the way through,
That's-
and then Unity. Because Unity and Rogue launched the same day.
Yes, they
Rogue
did.
was for the 360 and PS3 generation.
Stupidest
Unity was
thing.
for the 1 and the PS4 generation.
And let's see.
So stupid.
And AC Rogue was just the Black Flag in a different setting.
There you go.
Oh, well.
Not a huge surprise.
I did miss it then.
And Syndicate, actually, I really enjoyed Syndicate. I got that one kind of on a whim just to have it.
Yeah, I got that one cheap somewhere. It was like the problem I had with Syndicate was not the story or the way it looked. It was, man, it just played like all the Assassin's Creed and was buggy, and
True.
I just kept running into stupid issues. And I was like, you know what? I can't deal with this anymore. I've been doing this for 5 games now.
You know, and
the same issue, and I just couldn't handle. I just put it down and deleted it from my system.
you know what? I'm right there with you. I was super burned out on the Assassin's Creed games after a while, so I'm so glad they took a year off to make Origins.
Yeah.
But the Assassin's Creed games that I actually liked that came out recently were the Chronicles. I don't know if you guys
I
heard
didn't
of.
get I've heard of them. Yeah,
They're like
those are like the side scroller ones.
the 2.5D side scroller
Yeah.
games. I got it for my Vita, like one of the only games I play on my Vita because it's a perfect little
Yeah,
mobile game.
That's awesome.
But
I was gonna say I'd seen some Let's Plays of it. I just never picked it up.
I liked them because they did something different with the AC name. It wasn't the same
Yeah.
old giant open world stuff.
Yeah, I honestly just like Assassin's Creed never really clicked for me, and I think it was just where I was at in what I wanted to game when they came out. Like I was a big first-person shooter when 1 dropped, like
Yeah.
long time
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
I don't remember. It was 10,
I mean,
10
that's
years
still
ago.
kind
Yeah,
of your jam
10
for
years
the most
ago.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm still a big first-person shooter, but now I've started, like, as we have obviously a ton of open world games, I've started to get into that. If you're curious, if you go pick up Assassin's Creed 1, plug it into your PS3 and start playing, it's gonna suck. Like it's one of those things that like it's an old system.
Doesn't
It doesn't
age
look
well.
good. Doesn't age well. All the bugs are still there. What's fun is that you can experience the bugs in any generation of consoles because they never fix them.
Ubisoft.
Yeah, it's so I'm excited. For me, I found myself when we watched the footage for this, both during the during the conference and during like some of the during E3 stuff, and they had like the 30 minutes of gameplay after Ubisoft, and I went back and watched some of that. And I don't know what was there like that was already Assassin's Creed and like the new stuff. I know that the Overwatch like Hawk that he had flying around was new, like tagging enemies and stuff.
I mean, they totally pulled that from Watch Dogs too.
Well,
right?
yeah, it's not like a new concept, but
which is so funny that it pops up like that's really cool, and it's like I feel like I just played some Watch Dogs.
Right. It is like that.
I'm not upset about it. Yeah.
But that mechanic is also replacing the towers you'd climb and do the leap of faith.
Ooh, so there's no towers.
Yeah, no, because it's in the desert.
Well, okay. See, when you say it like that, well, because I've been wondering that because it's like I said, I haven't followed Assassin's Creed for a while, and so I was watching the footage. I'm like, I'm not seeing a lot of consistent high points. I saw him climbing a pyramid. I was like, maybe that's going to be a tower. I'm like, we're going to have 30 pyramids?
Well, it's the thing. Like, if you climb a pyramid, like that's a pretty wide base it's got. How far can you really see once you get to the top?
You pull out a shield and then like surf down the side of the pyramid with it.
But you guys did touch on something when you mentioned the Watch Dogs 2 drone thing. The first thing I thought of with the Hawk thing was like the Far Cry games with your camera and your tagging targets. That's the first thing I immediately thought of. Then I started to think Ubisoft isn't that original sometimes.
I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or
if it is broke, don't fix it.
Right.
If it's broke,
just do whatever you want.
This is always next year.
The thing that interests me is when you look through the camera, the guy wasn't pushing a button to target or to tag him.
You just hold
right?
over.
Like something in Battlefield, obviously EA. You had to look down the sight and you got to push a button to target them, right? You got to do an extra thing. It's almost never displayed. It's just annoying. This is just like, I picked it up in my camera field of vision. There we go. I just tagged 20 guys in 5 seconds.
Yep.
That's nice to me. It's just a very small thing. I'm not going to buy the game because of it. User interface looks good. Bayek the Last Magi, like how is that not cool? Like that's just such a cool title, being an Egyptian sheriff, climbing a pyramid, fighting a large snake.
Yeah. The combat looks a little bit different, looks a little bit heavier, I think. Assassin's Creed combat wasn't super light before, but this looks a little bit heavier, a little bit more, a touch more varied, maybe.
Yeah, a little bit. I hope. A lot more like interactive than the old style, which was press Y to dodge, press X to attack, and so this seems
just hold block until they come up and then break block.
Right. So this seems more a little hands-on. A lot of people were comparing it to like the Souls games combat, which I can kind of see.
But having played Dark Souls 3 recently, I'm sitting here, I'm like, there's a lot less dodge out of the way involved, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it would be more of a Bloodborne because Bloodborne doesn't have shields, right?
Yeah,
Bloodborne just has It does have shields?
Pretty sure. Maybe it does.
I don't know. It did. But I know that there's a little bit difference between like Demon Souls and Dark Souls and Bloodborne. Mm-hmm. And Bloodborne was a lot more dodging than like Dark Souls was.
Yes.
I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Boom. I didn't play them because I have a very specific play style, and it does not involve any kind of patience at all.
It's not what one would call a strategic play style.
And you need patience for those games.
Right. I'm a tank. Right. I rented Dark Souls 3. And I spent like 30 minutes on the first boss, which is fine. Like you push through that, you get into it, and he's like, all right, cool. I'm climbing along, and I take like an hour to get through like this turret stupid thing, and then I climb up the stairs, and I get roasted by a dragon. Like, poop myself.
Yeah. No, you don't go up the stairs. You run by them.
Well, I didn't know that because it wasn't super obvious. So, but the problem was like the save point was so far back. You come back and you fight through this turret again, and you get up there. And I did that for like an hour, and I died the dragon 4 times, and I almost snapped my controller in half. And I drove to Redbox that night. I didn't even give it the satisfaction of staying in my PlayStation another night. Like I was done. I couldn't do it. And Jake's like, "Oh man, you should have tried harder. Man, that really sucks." Like, no,
Well, that's part of the dragon is you could use it like if you'd have gone to the right, like up the stairs is another kind of like, in a typical game, he'd be considered a mini boss because he's just hard to beat.
Right.
But you just run, like make him chase you and take him to that spot where the dragon's burning the stairs, and the dragon will kill him for you.
Man,
it's awesome.
It's just I can't. I don't have the patience for it. It's great for people to do. So whenever I see combat that kind of looks like that, I immediately think of those. But then I realize that that's just from me watching, not me actually playing.
It's Ubisoft, and combat's never that hard in Ubisoft.
That's right.
PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. This is a game that we've wanted to play.
Yes.
Because we've seen like other people playing it, but we don't have a PC, so we can't play
it. So you got a PC. Have you been playing it at all?
No, and my like I said, my computer just isn't quite strong enough for it.
I got you.
It's got, let's see, I'm looking on the Steam page. Battlegrounds needs 6 gigs RAM, and I only have 4 on this.
Whoa! How do you operate a computer with 4 gigs of RAM in this day and age? Damn.
I make it work.
Jeez.
Firefox uses like half that.
Yeah, I
Come
know.
on now.
Chrome just like slows it to a halt.
Chrome's like, hey, you using one tab? I'm going to open 25
Yeah.
processes. I hate you.
But no,
Yeah,
this excites me. This
It does.
So much.
We've been watching obviously a lot of footage from it. We have a lot of friends that are like, hey guys, when are you gonna get on and play? I'm like, send us a CPU and we'll talk.
Yeah.
Like, that's where we're at.
Send us 2 finished computers and we'll gladly play with you.
It looks awesome.
Exactly.
The idea of 100 people descending onto a location and you gotta like stay
Yeah.
alive basically. You don't have to kill people. You can just hide in a bathroom, like hide in a tub, wait for people, and just eventually
Yeah.
like press further in.
I don't even think we have like alternatives. I mean, there's like H1Z1's out there, but that's still a PC game, isn't it?
Yeah.
H1Z was out there.
Yes.
The culling was like this for a while. Where
Yeah,
it's
there's
like
just nothing
on console
like this.
exists like that.
So it's coming to Xbox. It's a
Launch
launch
exclusive.
exclusive.
Yes.
Which we'll get into that here in a minute.
Yeah, I got a few things to say about that too.
But late 2017, I'm sure it'll hit PS4 in 2018 at some point.
Yeah.
We'll definitely pick it up, but chances are we'll have our PC finished before it comes to PS4, so we'll just do it there.
And we'll play it in 60 frames.
Yeah, 60
Yeah.
frames.
Yeah, for sure.
All right,
Are you into State of Decay at all, Ravel?
Not at all.
Yeah,
That's fair.
us either. Looks like garbage.
It just it looked like
I mean,
alpha
tell me I'm
gameplay.
wrong.
It just the textures were like below average. The art style was weird. Like the glowing eyes seemed like it just nothing really like clicked for me.
It seems like it's like an early PS3 or Xbox 360 game.
So it's like
just
a
like it's like
Steam early
you forgot to
access.
finish this. Like you just sent us like they showed the example to the executives. They're like, "Oh, this looks good. When does it go up?" Yeah, shipped yesterday. Oh,
Yeah.
oh well.
Yeah, from what I
Yeah.
can tell, I've seen State of Decay gameplay. It never appealed to me, and looking at this, it looks like exactly the same game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I haven't seen any differences from the crap I've seen on.
Yeah, but now it runs in
State of
4K 60 frames of terrible textures. It's perfect.
Gosh, even Ravel's computer could run it in 4K. Yeah, no, that's definitely an Xbox thing. Just I might think spring 2018. If that's
So
your
there you go.
thing,
If
then
you're into that,
great.
congrats
If
to
we
you.
offended you, I'm sorry, but
Hey.
I'm not sorry.
You're in the wrong place if you're afraid to be offended. Minecraft.
Yeah,
You into Minecraft at all,
dude,
Ravel?
yes, I am.
Minecraft is
Say.
awesome.
Most people are into Minecraft.
How can you
I-
not be?
it-
This is awesome.
Well, as it
okay.
turns out, I've never been a big
don't own
Minecraft
it.
player.
Oh,
I mean, just
there you go.
I've never played it. And so when we first started our channel, like it was like the second game that we did for Let's
Yeah.
Plays, and so
Way back when.
we played it quite a bit with that. So it's cool. For me, there's just like maybe I'm just like missing something, or there's just like something not quite there.
There's
for
no
me to-
objectives. You're kind of like an objective based guy.
Yeah,
That's
Okay.
like you know, like making your
Okay.
own objectives in that way. So like Portal Knights is great for you and me to an extent on that same thing, but Minecraft is just like, well, here you go, fun.
go survive and build something. But
But
what am I supposed
Now
to
we
build?
can play with everyone from our Switch, except for PlayStation.
Except for
Because
PlayStation.
PlayStation is.
It just there's.
Did you see there was like a press release or something? They
Yeah,
asked Jim Ryan about it again,
Sony responded to it,
and
yeah.
he's just like, we don't have this. He basically said a lot to say nothing.
He said he blamed it on kids. He said that they were worried, they were trying to protect kids in it. I don't have it.
What do you mean
the
trying to
quote up
protect
for me.
kids? Do
Yeah.
you play any other PlayStation games online?
It's
Like,
insane.
just because you have it locked to PlayStation does not mean those annoying douchebags won't be playing Minecraft. It's not like you have to like do a personality test before you go online playing Minecraft. Like the same idiots can get online in Minecraft that can get online on all the other consoles. That's the weakest excuse I've
Yeah,
ever
that-
heard in my life
that's
or
a
something.
super weak
and shame on
excuse.
you, Jim Ryan, for thinking that's acceptable.
Yeah, let me find the quote. So it sucks. I think the whole crossplay thing is really cool. Being able to bring in the mobile platforms, PC, Xbox, Switch, all that stuff. That's really awesome.
It is awesome.
So
I've got I've got a few
for it.
concerns here about this because now PC actually has 2 versions of Minecraft. There's the .exe install that almost everyone plays on, and then there's the Windows 10 version, which is actually a port of the mobile version.
Oh.
So
From what? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm just wondering which version is the one that's going to allow crossplay, both of them, or just the Windows 10 version. I haven't heard anything on that yet.
So I don't know if it was just like rumors or if people actually know, but from what I was reading, they were saying it was going to be the Windows 10 version
Okay.
for PC.
sucks.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, it's the newer one. It's right in their ecosystem, with their Play Anywhere ideas and stuff like that. So it makes sense. So that's weird. Just realizing that they have two different versions for some stupid reason.
Because they're Microsoft.
Yep,
and
because they're
yeah,
Microsoft.
That's what they do.
So here we go. Let me read the statement from PlayStation guy. They talking about the head of global marketing sales, Jim Ryan. He said, Minecraft, the demographic playing that, as well as I do, it's all ages, but it's also very young, Ryan said. We have a contract with the people who go online with us, that we look after them, and they are within the PlayStation curated universe, exposing what in many cases are children to external influences that we have no ability to manage or look after. It's something we have to think about very carefully.
What do you look after in the PlayStation
Yeah.
environment there, Jim? Tell me, Jimbo, are you online monitoring and be like, hey, you shouldn't say that there, Trey?
Because
Like,
I've never
that's
had
not true.
toxic conversations on PlayStation. Never.
Yeah.
Never. Just thanks
everywhere.
to Jim. Thank you.
Like, gosh, just like,
It's so asinine.
Man.
Like, there's no way that that's the reason. That's just like that's just PR speak.
that's
Yeah.
poor PR.
And
speak
At the end of the day,
And they pull-
it's
They pulled
Go
the
ahead,
same
Mike.
thing with Rocket League last year, because Rocket League was all
Ugh.
ready for the crossplay too. And I know we'll get into it later, but now that Rocket League is on the Switch, Nintendo's got this. I mean, they're on board with crossplay Xbox and PC just the same.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, I'll be playing Rocket League on my Switch 100% more than I'm playing it on my PlayStation.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Because, like, I mean, for one fact, I take it with me, which isn't something we can blame Sony for.
right.
But it's just like, yeah, if I have friends that I meet that play it on Xbox, I'd be like, cool, I have it on my Switch. We can still play together.
Exactly.
Somehow, like, it's not like a perfect solution, but you still have that extra player base. And from kind of what I've read, like, it ends up being a business decision, right? When Microsoft was on top with the 360,
Yeah.
they shut down all talk across platform, right? Because it's going to hurt their sales, it's going to hurt their bottom line. Sony's flipped the script, and so it's one of those things where you have to weigh public perception, right, and the way that you look for the consumer, and then your brand, right? And you don't necessarily want to encourage sales on your competitors because you can play with people from the PlayStation. You want to encourage people to play on PlayStation. It's both backwards and forwards thinking. It's just based on what are you looking out for? Like, they're not looking out for their consumers. We know that. They're looking out for their bottom line. And I don't know if you can really blame them for that. It's a business,
Yeah.
but it sucks for consumers.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you think, Ravel?
I'm on board. I mean, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, even with them being cross platform with PC,
Mhm.
PC is Microsoft, guys. Like, I don't know. Whatever.
Why is
Whatever.
that okay on Rocket League, but then somebody like Xbox? I get maybe Xbox. I get that because it is a direct
It's a
competitor.
direct console
but the
competitor.
Switch, no one is thinking, man, I was going to get a PS4, but instead I'd rather play 4 games on my Switch. I love my Switch. I will continue to play it, and I think it's a
Yes.
great console. But it is not a direct competitor with PS4 and Xbox.
Yeah.
It's not. It has its niche, so it annoys me. And because I love Rocket League, I would love to just an injection into the player pool that I get to play with, like
Yep.
simply just for me to be selfish to have more games. I'm just annoyed.
Yep. Next up, I think we should hit. And you guys, if there's something in between here that I miss on this list you want to talk about, please interrupt. But Sea of Thieves. This was kind of a surprise for me and James because, and maybe it was different for you, Ravel, but like we saw that at first and we're like, okay, cool, Sea of Thieves, it's a cartoon pirate ship game. Who cares? And then it came out and was like, that actually looks really fun.
Yeah.
Like, I would buy an Xbox to play Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah.
Maybe.
At this point.
I've been keeping up with Sea of Thieves a bit over the past year, and it's always been intriguing to me. It's developed by Rare. I mean, Rare's always been awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I think it'll be super cool.
Yeah, it looks.
Just the idea of it would be
the gameplay. The art style is really cute and adorable, and I think that's why they could probably get away with 4K 60 because you have
Yeah.
6
Oh,
polygons
definitely.
per character. But it just the way that just the open world exploring an old wreck ship, going underwater, carrying the chest, and then having to have your teammates cover you because both your hands are full with treasure and just being shot out of a cannon, and just all the different options. The narrator that they used for the conference premiere of it was just hilarious.
It was,
really
that
funny.
show
Really
was
good.
awesome.
Yeah, so has Sea of Thieves always looked like this, and we just have been in the dark, heads in the sand because we're Sony guys?
From what I can tell, yeah. Actually, it wasn't shown at the conference, but one of the earlier videos I saw, it was a demo of the multiplayer. you can actually pull out instruments and play music. And if you get your online mates together, the music syncs up using the different instruments you're playing. It's just like like one guy will have an accordion, one guy will have a hurdy-gurdy, and it's just a cute little fun thing you can do.
That's
This
awesome.
one, this one totally
Yeah,
intrigues me.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to see it. I'm not gonna have to go look up what a hurdy-gurdy does and looks like and stuff like that.
On a side note here about the hurdy-gurdy, it's a weird little instrument. You crank it, but it plays on strings. There's a guy who breaks down like a dubstep beatbox thing on a hurdy-gurdy. I would recommend finding that video.
Wow.
Boy, whoever thought of the name for hurdy-gurdy though? Like, what do you call
hurdy-gurdy?
Yeah, he was a drunk pirate.
So
That's
that
what it was.
Junk right there.
Yeah, it just the 4-player co-op. I just always love that. Like, it's just great to
love us
see
some co-op.
things like that. Obviously, we love co-op. So I was very impressed. Did we get a release date? I don't remember seeing one, other than maybe a year.
Don't remember.
I don't even know if we saw a year.
Jeez.
Not a launch title, is it? No, it's not.
I have no
for
idea.
the One X. No, because the launch titles for One X are Super Lucky's Tale and Crackdown 3 as of right now. So that can change between now and
Yeah,
looks
then.
like early 2018.
I was going to say, the note I have here that was that the release of this year was pushed back to next.
Yeah, not a huge surprise.
Delays in the gaming world? What?
That's crazy. One that we jumped over here that I was actually surprised at, it was Black Desert. Is Xbox console exclusive, coming early 2018. What threw me off was it was an MMO, but restricted to one console. It's interesting. It looked pretty.
It's really banking on it being picked up on that console.
I love
for it to be successful.
the trailer for it was really well done, really impressive. It had almost like a God of War style combat where your character is way overpowered from anything that you're touching at all, and it was just super heavy, and the screen was like vibrating so much I felt like my controller was vibrating with it. It looked super impressive. I don't know if you saw that and had any thoughts on that.
Honestly, that one did not interest me. I'm not a big MMO guy.
That's fair.
Fair enough.
MMO is a very
Kind of a niche,
yeah.
a little
For
bit. Because you get into an MMO and you just stay in an MMO.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really play an MMO on the side.
That's true.
Up next, just the podcast I listen to, I've been talking about it a lot. Cuphead.
Yes.
Cuphead.
So
Oh, yes.
I look at this game and it just like gives me like the heebie-jeebies. Just like the art style of it, and it's just like looks super like creepy. This weird like nobody has joints. They're all just like fluid like appendages that they all use, and it's got that like super like gramophone style horn thing for music and whatnot.
What do you think?
This
of it,
one,
Ravel?
this one excites the heck out of me. I mean, so that unique art styles from like the 30s and 1920s and 30s when cartoons were still being made. And if I remember reading this right, I should reconfirm this. I should have looked this up. I actually think the animators for the game did traditional hand drawing for that animation to really emulate that style,
Really?
and then digitized it.
That would be
That's
pretty
freaking awesome.
impressive.
Don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. I should really confirm
No,
that.
it's all right. You've already said it, and it's out on the
hey,
internet.
Yeah, it's on the
you
internet,
have to.
so it's quotable now.
Right on. I think
I'm actually looking at an interview from Time Magazine in 2016
yes.
about their art style. Yeah, it certainly looks like you are correct.
The game was announced in 2014, so it's been in development for a little while.
Been gestating for a minute.
Well, I mean, if you're hand drawing everything, then that's going to
Right.
take a bit.
It's gonna be a 30-minute game.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued by it. It looked like a racist 1930s cartoon. It like oozed, not like in an awful way, but that's what cartoons were back then, right? That was just how things were, and to me it was just like, that's awesome. Also very creepy, but like even the film grain effect that's on it
Yes.
to make it look old.
Yes.
I'm sold. Like this was the first I've ever heard it. Never
Oh,
seen
really?
it. Yeah, it was a total new one to me. Like it's not coming out on PlayStation, so why would I know?
Yeah, I forget you guys aren't the biggest Xbox fans. No, this one has piqued my interest for a little while. It's a side scroller shoot 'em up, and it looks hard as heck. It looks like the type of game that I would just break controllers on. I can tell, but I can't wait to get my hands on this one.
Yeah, this one looks really good. This might be. Hopefully, we have the PC together in time to play hand drawn cartoons. I think it'll be cool.
$1,000 PC to play hand-drawn cartoons.
Sorry, you're using a
Excuse me,
7700K to do what now? I'm sorry. Yeah, that one looks really good. That one surprised me. That was a big surprise.
Yeah.
If I had known about it at all, obviously it would have just been like, okay, cool. But
Cool, it's Cuphead.
so I'm a bright-eyed doe, wide-eyed,
What?
bright-eyed. Is it shiny? Forget it.
What?
It's-
Bright-eyed.
it's-
Yeah, I don't know.
Bright-eyed, bushy
I don't
tail,
even know.
ready to
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Hey,
there we
there
go.
you go.
Boom.
Ready to move right on to Crackdown 3.
Ugh.
Does this pique anyone's interest? Aside from Terry Crews being awesome in the trailer.
Yeah, he's a beast of a man.
So
he's-
funny. I love it.
Crackdown 3's been in development for what, like 120 years or something?
Roughly.
Almost as long as Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, so you're the Xbox guy. Crackdown. what's that
Okay.
about?
So I played the first Crackdown a long time ago, and I remember the Crackdown 2 being kind of crap, and I kind of lost interest of it. So I really didn't care about Crackdown 3, but now the closer I get and the more I see of it, it is kind of intriguing to me. I can't really say any more than that, but from
Yeah.
what I've seen during E3 this year, I might want to get my hands in it. I'm not really sure.
Okay, so for frame of reference, Crackdown 1 was February 2007.
Yes.
So old, back on Xbox 360.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I mean, the trailer looked. We didn't really see that much. We saw mostly cinematic, some parkour, shooter, maybe co-op. I don't know. November 7th. This game's been in development for a bit, and some
Yeah.
delays and changes, and hey, whatever works, I guess.
Yeah,
what's up next on the big old listy list?
I'm jumping to Shadow of War.
Yeah,
I'm excited about this game.
dude, we could talk about this at all the conferences every day. I freaking am excited for this.
That's actually what we're
Oh,
going to be
yeah.
from now on. Is we're just going to be a Shadow of War channel. We haven't announced it yet, but we're bringing Ravel on. He's going to move into the studio.
What?
We're going to be a Shadow of War channel strictly for that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let
but
me
you're gonna have
pack.
to cover your moving expenses. So we don't have the money in the budget for that.
I'll
It's going to be our Shadow of War intern.
I'll hitchhike over. It.
Oh man, seriously though, this game, I'm already excited for it. Right, I love the first game. If you didn't play Shadow of Mordor, you were a very sad person.
Get it. Play it before this comes out.
So good,
and I
so
did,
good.
and I enjoyed it a lot.
So
yeah,
much fun.
it's great. There was, it wasn't perfect. There were some things that it got a little bit repetitive, and the open world was almost too open and not enough stuff in.
There wasn't
in
enough
between.
populated in the world itself.
Yeah, the world itself was a good size. We just didn't have anything to do in it. But it looks really good. I like the direction they're going with the fortresses that you're gonna challenge and take on. The intricacies in the Nemesis system just get me all up in a tizzy.
Such a cool thing.
Yeah,
so
the Nemesis system was the best part of that game, and I'm surprised not too many other games have taken that on.
Yeah, it's so
It's
daunting.
like a trademark thing.
It might be a
of
trade, or
Monolith
even like WB
or
games.
WB, yeah.
But
Mhm.
I'm happy to see that they expanded it to your allies that you're working with, and the orcs you put in charge of your bases. That it's
Yeah, just the scope of it is so crazy. Before you had it was like 20 or 25 guys. That was the force that you were going through. It was just like captains and war chiefs and such
Yeah.
like that. But now you're building an army
Yeah.
with different leaders, and then they each have different qualities. And so then they had like the subtitle names, right? Like Warmonger Tank and Marauder Destroyer, and the interaction you had with the guy that you took over. Granted, it could just be more of a focus because it was probably like a story part of it. Maybe not every interaction is like that, but it was legitimately funny.
It was
and
really good.
entertaining to me. It felt organic, and I love that. I'm so freaking excited.
Yeah, I would love to see. I mean, just more variation of the, like, oh, I took this guy over and he says something like before. I mean, it wasn't like overly repetitive, but it starts to get there after 20, 30 hours in the game. So I think this game is going to be good top to bottom as long as it delivers on what it's promising,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and I think it will. WB is not much on giving up, nor is Monolith. So
No, Ravel, what do you think about this game?
Honestly,
what excites you most?
about this game. I get beyond what I said. I'm not the biggest fan of the game. I did really love the first one though.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
The look of the game, the graphics, the facial animations, the scope of the landscapes, that's blowing me away right now, and I can't wait to see this play to run on the Xbox One X.
Oh,
personally.
yeah, you would like
Really
that,
good.
wouldn't you? Yeah, I'm excited. What I want to see, and I honestly don't know if we're going to see much more of the game before the release, is I want to see something outside of the fortress aspect of
I do
it.
too.
I want to see more of the
yeah.
open world, because if it's all just fortresses, which I really don't think it is, I'm going to be a little disappointed. So I want to see interaction outside of that. I'm hoping that that's just one chunk of the game, and there's 3 other chunks they haven't shown us. Right? That's my goal.
Yep.
So facial animations did already look really good.
Yeah, on the finished
It
characters.
should, because they've yeah, if you will go back and watch the trailer, in the background, the guys that are like the just the extras, basically,
It's just like paper figures.
their
bouncing up and down in the
faces were
background.
not quite ready for prime time. Yeah, so that one got delayed a few weeks, which, okay, whatever.
Amen.
I'm not going to complain about it. Now, I don't know what I'm going to do for money in October, because everything will be spent on games. This
Tell me
one's out
about
on
it.
October
Oh my God.
10th. Yeah.
Hey, go to my wife. Do you think we need groceries this week, or
Are you
can I just
cool with eating ice? Because
Are
I
you
got loads of ice.
good with
you
just
can
like asking the neighbors for food every now and then?
eat. Hey, can you bring over ketchup and lasagna, please? Thanks.
Got a cup of sugar and steak. Something I wanted to just touch on was the Xbox, the backwards compatibility.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
gonna be extended back into the original Xbox games. So we don't have Xbox. We haven't been playing backwards compatibility, but that's something you kind of take advantage of. Ravel?
Oh, I do all the freaking time. I've got a huge back library of all of my favorite games that I've had either growing up that I had to replace because I lost, or just ones that have kept on me. This is amazing to me.
So how does it work? Do you pay like a monthly access fee, or is it all free?
Oh, no.
Or how does this work
You
here?
can buy per game.
For straight backwards compatibility, it's for games you own, or you can buy them digitally on the store, and that's all you have to pay for.
That's
Okay.
nice.
Are the prices pretty reasonable for some of the old stuff?
I'd seen them go from like 10 to 40. I've never seen any more than 40.
That's
Okay.
not bad.
That's not awful.
I gotta go get Halo Combat Evolved for $60.
Well, then, but that's the downside of it. Like when Red Dead Redemption was announced for backwards compatibility, all the used game prices just shot up because people are buying it again. So that might happen with original Xbox titles now, which are kind of hard to find at a
Yeah, I
decent
mean-
price as it is.
What are some original Xbox titles that people still want to play
Oh,
Fable,
10 years later?
Halo, but Halo got Master Chief Collection, so I guess
Yeah.
you
Uh,
really wanted it.
I would for my personal picks, I would say the first few Splinter Cell games. Those were fantastic on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. And they're getting like remastered, right? They're getting kind of like enhanced a little bit to kind of be brought up with the graphics, or are they just straight ports?
Well, no, it is just the game, the original base game itself. But what they do is they take advantage of the modern hardware, so the computer just renders things faster, smoother. Some like atmosphere effects look nicer. Just taking advantage of the hardware itself. But
Okay.
nothing is done after the fact to make them look prettier.
Okay, so that could be, but hey, you get to play those games without having to put in an old console, and easy way to get to those games as well.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's super cool.
It's cool. I don't know. Like we talked about this on one of our PlayStation podcasts about if we would ever want backwards compatibility, because Sony came out and said that they don't think people would use it. They say people
Yep.
complain about it a lot, but no one would actually use it. And I kind of tend to agree.
Yeah, me too.
It's just everything that I wanted to play back then. I still have a PS3 somewhere. I can use it. But there's nothing that really struck me that like I played it and I want to go back and play it again.
Yeah.
I've had enough remasters of the PlayStation 3 stuff on PS4 that's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I can totally see where you're coming from, but I think it's more of it's a niche thing, like collectors
Yeah.
who keep older titles, and not everyone's going to play every single game, but the ones that are special to them, they would want to pop in again. Like I wouldn't mind playing the original Halo that the same disc I've owned for 15 years. I wouldn't mind playing that again from that disc instead of the Master Chief Collection.
So you can actually like take your old Xbox, just pop it in, assuming it's in one of the supported titles, and just play it.
Yes.
Whoa. Okay.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was just like some kind of like digital license. Like you, that's awesome. That's even better. Just being able
Yeah.
to toss that disc in. Boy, that does
Yeah,
sound.
they're knocking it out
kinda
of the park with the backwards compatibility. And things we hope to see knocked out of the park is EA's new IP is Anthem.
nice.
Oh my god.
I'm looking forward to this.
Oh yes.
because it just looks so much like a different take on a game that's similar to Destiny.
Yeah.
It's just like another world that I'll spend 500 hours in.
Yeah, this was for me. This was the. I mean, we knew that EA was gonna be debuting a new IP from BioWare,
Mhm.
and the important thing here is we're all kind of like have a sour taste in our mouth from BioWare's Mass Effect Andromeda. It's a different
Yeah.
studio, so
Yes.
you've got the one behind Andromeda was BioWare Edmonton, I want to say, and this is the people doing Anthem are the people that did the first couple Mass Effect games.
Yep.
So the face I love, and I think they did this on purpose, but when their trailer launched up right there, and they
Yeah.
started with like
The-
these beautiful facial
The
animations.
first thing they showed
was-
was some guy right up in your face.
Oh yeah,
Look at how pretty
there
this
was
is.
yeah, that was definitely like a tongue-in-cheek moment. Like, hey, just so you know, we figured it out. We're good.
This wasn't us. Look what we can do, not what they can do.
Right.
Yeah, there's so much to pick from this trailer. They put it together so well.
Yeah.
It just clicked right through. My favorite shot of the trailer was they're in their suits and they're standing there and they're having that fake dialogue that you don't actually have in real life.
Just don't put it in there.
And so you're looking and you see like some trees and stuff. You're like, oh, that's kind of pretty. And then she just dives over it, and the world is about 1,000,000 times deeper than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
And she just like flies straight down, and the screen's rumbling, and you see all this detail, and swoops down around, dives underwater, and it just blew me away. Like I felt like my stomach jump up into my throat. Right? This is beautiful. I don't know. What do you think about this?
And honestly, that was the point I was going to call out in that trailer itself, just because that was just so gorgeous to see the amazing forest landscape and then the beautiful water with. I mean, I know it's obviously a made for E3 demo. That's not entirely indicative of
Yeah.
what we're going to see, but if it's anything close to that, and that was running on Xbox One X hardware,
Right.
Yeah.
it blew me away.
Yeah, it's impressive. The transition from being above ground to underwater, and it just looks
Like
so pretty.
immediate,
It's
just like
so
whoosh.
smooth. Again, vertical slice of the game. We really don't know if the whole thing's going to look like this. I still didn't know. You really don't know what to expect then, because you've got your exosuit. You jump down, you fly down. You still don't know what kind of game it is, right?
yeah.
And they're walking. They're having that fake Division style talk. That's what I always think of. Like the very first time we saw
Right.
Division.
Division in like Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yeah, it was exactly like that, right? And I get it. You got to make it try and sound organic, but we're not going to talk like that. We're going to
No.
cuss a lot more. We're going to talk about bad things. Like we're that's just what it's going to be.
Can't put racial slurs into E3 press conferences.
And but they they happen across like a new area, and they say, "Oh, hey, do you want to go do this?" Like, "No, I'm going to wait for Kim to get on later." It's like, "Oh, but you kind of need the experience now because you're a noob." Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Like that was annoying. But the little like pop for the exploration like reminded me of Destiny, and
Yeah.
just different things like that. Oh man, it looks so pretty. I would hope it looks pretty. It's running on the Xbox One X.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who's what was it? Was it you showed me this like the initials for the Xbox One X? Like just the first letter of everything is Xbox.
Yeah.
I was just like,
And then someone like put a comment on it and was like, "Oh, so would you say we've come full circle at 360, perhaps?" Ah, yes.
all right.
Yeah, I did see
Before
that.
we get off the Microsoft topic, what were you guys' overall thoughts on Microsoft's conference?
Ravel, I'll let you go first. You're the Xbox guy.
Boy, it's a little bittersweet for me, guys. A little bittersweet. I mean, the press conference itself blew me away. It was amazing, and he said 22 exclusive titles. Well, that exclusive had a big old caveat on it. It was either exclusive to Microsoft, which meant Xbox or Windows 10, or launch exclusive, meaning PS4 will get it eventually.
Yeah.
So, okay, left a sour taste in my mouth. And then they announced the name of the console, Xbox One X. And I'm worried we might have a Wii U situation.
I could see that.
Uh,
A lot of people didn't know the Wii U was a new console.
Yeah.
They thought it was an add-on or something
Yeah.
like that.
Xbox One S sounds a lot like Xbox One X. So,
Mhm.
like, let's say a well-meaning aunt is going to buy a birthday
We had this
birthday
exact
gift.
Conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, "What do you want, Timmy?" "Oh, I want the Xbox One X."
Exactly.
And she's like, "There's no way he meant a $500 console. He clearly meant the $250 one."
They're both Xboxes. They both can play the same games. What's the difference? I'll get the cheaper one. I can kind of see that happening.
Yeah. There'll be a lot of disappointed kids this Christmas.
And then I just let me see here. Ah, boy. I had said it. I've seen a lot of people say it. This when we called it the Scorpio, now the Xbox One X. It needed games at launch to sell.
Yep.
Yeah.
And okay, they have a lot of games, but they're nothing special exactly to the Xbox One X. So hardcore fans like me are gonna buy it, obviously.
Yep.
But if you're gonna bring up the nasty console wars, I can see them not quite pushing as forward as they probably would have wanted with the release of the hardware itself. So overall, I was blown away by the conference itself. I can't wait to see what this holiday is going to be like for Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely they had a good conference. The launch exclusive stuff, I could talk about this for hours, but it's like one of like the top 3 like just most annoying things in the world to me, because and I'm not saying this as a Sony guy, I'm saying this as a gamer. I think it's awful for gamers. So my biggest example, Rise of the Tomb Raider, right? Great game, probably.
Yeah.
I have no idea because I'm not going to buy it.
Oh, and it was a really good game.
Right, and it's one thing to have like an extra weekend or an extra week, or maybe your beta comes a bit
Or a
early.
couple different pieces of content.
Yeah.
Which we talked about with Destiny and Sony doing.
But you're going to give me a full year exclusivity to another console? No, like just no. That's not how we should do business. That's not how games should be developed and made. And then the argument's like, oh, well, but Microsoft developed it and paid for it. And if it wasn't for Microsoft, no, shut up. That's not how we should do things. And people bought it anyways. And then it came to the PlayStation and they bought it. I don't think the sales did near as well as they maybe had hoped or they thought they would.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And now we're going to start seeing more of them, right? Almost everything that we saw as a launch or as a title for exclusivity was a launch exclusive. So we're going to see a ton of games, right? Probably 15 to 20 that do the same thing. Maybe not a year, maybe we're talking a couple months, but it's infuriating because I don't want to buy an Xbox. I don't. There's nothing on the Xbox that screams I need a console. And just everything that I want to play is on Sony's console. So when you see these games with this launch exclusivity, it just really rubs me the wrong way because it just does. You know, that's kind of where I'm at with it. The conference itself, the Xbox One X looks good. The name sucks. Price point's too high.
Yep.
If you're trying to compete with the PlayStation 4 Pro, which Microsoft
very
definitely said that it's definitely not on the same plane. I think you missed the mark. I don't think they could price it at $400. Just with the technology they put in, with the liquid cooling they put in, with the specs, they just couldn't do it for $400. And I get that.
Yeah.
But $500 is going to be hard to stomach when. If you really want 4K, you could go spend $700 or $800 on a machine that's going to perform better as a PC. You're not going to have to pay for online. Again, that's maybe a different conversation, but I think the price point is going to make it hard to adopt when you can get a console half the price that does 4K Blu-rays and HDR gaming. The only benefit you get is that 4K and maybe the 60 frames.
Yeah.
So
a little bit more power.
It was
but the same
good,
resolution.
but for games, we saw maybe 1 or 2 good games that are AAA titles, and the rest were multi-platform or indie games. We saw 42 games, but how many of those are indie games? They're not going to become that just aren't worth.
How many of those were that ID at Xbox quick flash
it's like
collage
20 in there.
montage?
That was a nice little way to be like, hey, we got 42 games, but you couldn't even write all these titles down because they flash by so fast.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a good conference. They did better than I expected, but the Xbox One X, I don't think is the answer for them.
Yeah, no, that's not going to be their blow PlayStation out of the water.
If you want to rebut
as far as
Ravel,
console wars go,
you definitely can rebut. I'd love opinions.
Okay, I mean, I agree with you honestly. Like what you're saying about Destiny, being a Halo fan, with Bungie making all of those games that I love, seeing them partnered up with Activision, who partnered up with Sony, and they're getting a lot of exclusive content for PlayStation, and then some modes and maps a year before Xbox gets it, which is what I play Destiny on. It kind of sucks for me. So I entirely get that BS. And I also agree with the fact that, well, spend a couple more $100, get a computer that does not only is spec'd out the same, if not better, as the Xbox One X, but can still play a lot of the games with Windows 10. It almost feels like they're shooting themselves in the foot with that move. Yep. Which is why I noticed they didn't really mention the Play Anywhere.
Everything pops up and says exclusive to Xbox and Windows 10. It's not really exclusive. It's just exclusive to Microsoft. But what you could say to make it feel more concise and less like exclusive to these 2 consoles.
Yeah.
platforms rather.
But I can also
All right.
see. I felt the same. I just want to say this last thing. I felt the
Yeah.
same way when the PS4 Pro came out.
Yeah,
100%.
totally agree.
With this mid-cycle upgrade, they're going for longevity. In 4 years, the Xbox One S is going to be crap. The PS4 Slim is going to be crap. But
Yep.
I can see the staying power there. Who knows if we'll get a new console generation at that time? But I can see why it might not make sense in the immediate, but in a few more years, those will be the consoles that are going to be selling.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it's
totally
true.
with you. We feel the same way about the PS4 Pro. The only reason we don't feel as strongly is because it launched at $400.
Yeah.
and it was a worthwhile upgrade for the benefits you get versus the cost. Right, at the time, the PS4 was originally $300. It dropped down to the Slim came out at $250, I think,
Yep.
with some bundles, and so it was a price increase, but I think it was worth it. The $500 just seemed like a little bit much to stomach. But I agree, PS4 Pro. It also had the same problem with it didn't have a ton of titles at launch specifically for it. It was the same thing with the Xbox that the Xbox One X is doing with having like 2 actual launch titles.
I will
So-
say this for the PS4 Pro. The Sony came out with the PSVR around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's another hardware add-on that will actually make the Pro hardware more enticing. Xbox didn't have that.
Yeah,
True.
So PS4 Pro had PSVR and also the cheaper option of the Slim. With that, I think both are just kind of one of those things. If your PlayStation 4 breaks and you're going to upgrade and you're kind of a core gamer, then you're going to buy the Pro. If your Xbox One breaks and you're in the same situation, you're going to buy the X.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. It's not worth taking. Like I had just replaced my PlayStation 4 a year and some change right before the Pro came out. It's like that's not worth me spending $400 again to get another console.
Yep.
So next, let's talk about Sony's press conference. Similar look to the year before, the big theater. I think it's the same theater that they
I'm
used
pretty
last
sure
year.
it is.
Open with that band or whatever. But jumping into the middle, sort of the third game in. Oh, it's just because the first two were like short experiences. Days Gone is the first kind of real big game
woof.
that we saw.
Yup.
So, because the first we saw Uncharted, which is a short experience, Horizon, which was a DLC, Days Gone, big game we've heard about for a couple years now. Sony Bend hasn't done anything since Golden Abyss, basically,
Yeah.
which was the Vita title.
It's been a hot minute. That's for sure. Ravel, you have a PlayStation, right?
Yes, I do.
You do some PlayStation stuff. Okay, cool. That's why I
love
thought.
my PlayStation.
So, Days Gone. What do you think?
Okay, I'm the wrong guy to ask. I'm not a big Zombies fan.
Okay, no, that's fair.
Fair enough.
I'm really excited. It's normally I'm not a zombies guy. I have a very particular preference for zombie stuff. Dying Light was really good.
Amazing.
Oh,
It was
that
also
was good.
We heard
absolutely
nothing for Dying Light 2.
also absolutely terrifying in every sense of the
Yeah.
word. But it worked well because we could do co-op for everything, and Jake being there helped me be less scared.
He sat on my lap and we played together. I think this looks really cool. I watched the alternative trailer.
Yeah, the
came
alternative
out,
path.
Yeah, the other day or today or whenever. It just looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Like
they
the different strategies. The world is kind of your oyster for how you want to approach these zombies.
Yeah.
There are wrong ways, but there's no one right way.
Right. The interesting thing when I watched the alternate path gameplay, in the main trailer they showed the guy driving on his motorcycle and he gets clotheslined, gets ambushed by a couple guys and has to fight him off. In the alternate gameplay one, he sneaks up around it because he's not being pursued by guys, so he's able to take his
Butters.
time.
Yeah.
And he sneaks up and he stealth kills the guy, combats the guy, and is able to just clip the tripwire and move on.
Yeah.
And so it's cool. You got to see some of the weather effects. The developers actually talked over the alternate path gameplay, talked about what it looks like in winter, like how cold affects
Snow
the zombies.
inhibits. Yes, like cold. The zombies are the freakers.
Yeah, the freakers
Are stronger in the cold. You don't see as far in the snow.
Yep.
The rain muffles noise,
Mhm.
so you can be louder during the rainstorm. They said like the little group of zombies that ran up in the conference demo is called the Swarm, and then the big one we saw last year is called a Horde.
Okay.
So different variations, like so you have the small group of zombies that you can sick on people, and the big group of zombies that you pee your pants and run from. Is the way I understood it.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to that game. I think it'll be really fun. I'll spend a lot of time with it. No release date, no release window, which is ridiculous. And
I
I
was
hate
super
it.
disappointed.
They even mentioned it in the alternate path thing. He's like, so is there any release time frame, anything. And they're like, no, Sony's been really good about just letting us have our time with this. I'm like, what else have you been doing? What have you been taking
Why
your
is this
time
taking
on?
so long? We've got 2 E3s, 2 trailers, actual gameplay, and we have no release. It's just stupid. It's just, Sony's not the only one that does this, as we're going to get into, but it's annoying and it shouldn't be a thing anymore. I thought this we get surprised and come out holiday 2017. It looked more or less finished. Again, vertical slice and all that. So I know that
Whatever.
Ravel's not excited about it at all.
I will say that
Lose.
I mean, I'm not a zombies guy, but I do like the fact that a lot of these games are taking advantage of using systems within the games to use to your advantage.
Mm-hmm.
I felt the same way for Prey, kind of on a different level, but still.
Oh yeah.
I do like the fact that you can like manipulate the zombie hordes into taking out bad guys for you, well, as a distraction while you do other things. That really impressed me.
Yeah.
I just like seeing that kind of stuff in games.
Yeah, I like unique mechanics. Zombie animals, meanwhile, we didn't really mention that, but they showed a zombie bear at the end wrapped in barbed wire and like
They had a name for him, and I don't remember what it
And
was.
then they had like the zombie wolf things, and
Those are called runners.
yeah.
Yeah.
So really cool, like something that zombie games typically don't address or even like mention at passing. The things that are eating the dead zombies, they're gonna be
They're gonna
zombified
get the
as
same
well.
infection.
So that looks really cool. Also creepy. We will get it day one. I already know. Done. End of story. But because by that time we'll be wealthy and rich because it'll be 2025.
It might be 2030. Who knows?
Coming on the PS6.
Ridiculous. But things we do have a release date for: Call of Duty World War II. Our yearly dose of Call of Duty.
Yes.
But we're going back with this one. Ravel, how do you feel about the Call of Duty? Are you into that franchise at all?
Okay. I was one of the haters on Infinite Warfare last year, but I went ahead and bought it anyway. I mean, I know what I'm getting into with these games, but this one excites me a lot. I'm happy to see it go back to World War II. We haven't really seen World War II on a AAA title look this good in a long time.
That's for
I
sure.
mean, that was the bread and butter for shooters 15, 20 years ago. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And watching gameplay of it, and I don't care about the story. The story is going to be the same. Like Michael,
It's World War II.
Michael
We all know
Blade.
how World War II went.
We win.
Whoa, spoilers! But just seeing the boots on the ground gameplay does excite me. I'm actually okay with this one, and I probably will be picking it up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I will too. And it reminded me because he picks up the M1 and he shoots it, and you just see the way it reacts.
Yes.
And, you've played it before. Like I played a lot of Medal of Honor Frontline when I was younger.
yeah.
It was like the only shooter that I had, and he picks it up and looks down the sights. I'm like, I know immediately how it should look when he shoots it, and he pulls the trigger and he's like, "Paching!" I'm like, that's how it's supposed to go. Like you nailed it. And in my mind, it's always looked that good, even though I know if I boot up Frontline, it looks like garbage.
No, it's seven squares sitting next to each other, and then a circle in the middle. That's your reticle. It looks awesome. I love the return. They're going back to regenerating health is going to go away. I think that's in single player, ammo pickups, health pickups, that kind of thing. Classic gunplay, classic FPS style game. You're going to have the speed of COD with the World War II era.
Yeah.
I am unbelievably excited. There's not going to be jetpacks. There's not going to be people flying around. I enjoyed it. We both got Infinity Warfare. We skipped a couple of the newer CODs, and it was fun. It was a good time. The story was actually really good. I was impressed by
I
it.
enjoyed the story of Infinite Warfare.
But so we loved it for what it was, but it was also the third game in a row that did basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Go to space and shoot.
That looks good. One note I want to mention on Shadow of the Colossus. They showed us a trailer. Talk about 2018. Super interesting. Now they did an HD port on the PS3, and so everyone was like, "Okay, where are we going to just? Is this another remaster?" No, they're actually remaking it, new assets and everything.
Yeah.
So they are starting over, which I think it has to be if you're going to do it. But that's an important note. So we're not just adding 1080p visuals.
Yeah. Did you guys see the side by side of that?
I did
Somebody
not.
put up a side by side of, I don't know if it was the HD remaster, but like the old Shadow and the new Shadow together. So it's like shows a sequence in the old Shadow and then goes back and plays the trailer we just saw. Just like how much more detailed it is. Like so, like the grass in the old Shadow is it's the grass from PS2, so it's flat, but it just has like grass looking JPEGs on top of it.
Yeah.
But so the new one has actual, grass sticking up out of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just like little things you look at all the detail on the castle as he's rolling up. Look at all the detail on all the colossi that are rolling up. Like it's just super cool.
Yep.
it was awesome to see them side by side. So
I'm
props
sold
to
on
whoever
that
did
one.
that.
So I'm curious. I know we're backtracking, but I am curious because we've never been big in the Monster Hunter franchise. Are you big in Monster Hunter or anything like that?
No, we would. I mean, I wouldn't call myself a fan of the game, but I did enjoy.
Do you like anything?
Yes, I do like things.
He likes Xbox.
Like Xbox.
I like
Right.
Xbox. I like pizza.
Netflix.
No, I really enjoyed Monster Hunter 4. This is the first time I played a Monster Hunter game, and I think it's Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate because Capcom is weird.
Right.
I'm happy to see it actually getting moved on from Nintendo's mobile system to like a big 1080p screen.
An actual console, yeah.
I don't really know too much about this particular game.
Yeah, I mean, no one really knew about it
Yeah.
coming in. I think it was kind of a surprise. Was like, what is Monster Hunter like? Because in this one, it looked like you were just hunting a bunch of dinosaurs and like dragon things.
Well,
is that kind of what the other stuff was?
That's in so many words, yes. Actually, no. It's actually it's a really hardcore. It's actually a hardcore RPG if you can imagine that on the Nintendo 3DS.
Oh, that
and-
sounds wrong.
And it takes like planning and using upgrading the right tool weapons for hunting down the monsters, and a lot of leveling up to get to the point to take down these giant monsters. It gets really intense. Yep.
Yeah, I mean the trailer looked really cool. They seem to really focus in on the guy cooking. Like he
Yes.
pulled out that portable spit, and is that like a reference to
Yes,
something?
that
or
is
it just...
that is very much a mainstay mechanic. After you hunt your monsters, you got to cook them up and
Okay.
consume
there
their
you go.
flesh.
Well, that was
I
my
don't know.
big concern because it's like everyone in the audience was like, "Oh, that's so funny." I'm like, we're sitting here like, "What is this?"
It got a good chortle.
Yeah, a good
Around-
chortle from the
around the
people that were
theater.
barely paying attention. Okay, well now I
Yeah.
know. I feel better now.
Yeah. So just kind of as an overview
Mhm.
of the next thing we're talking about, just the VR section of the Sony conference.
Yeah.
You almost turned off our new display. Um, so we had Skyrim, Starchild, The Inpatient, Monster of the Deep, the Final Fantasy 15 fishing extension.
Yeah, that one's
Bravo Team and
weird.
Moss.
Why? Just
It
why?
was so weird. Yeah, I thought it was cool to dedicate a chunk of the conference to be like, hey,
It's good.
you early adopters of VR, you the ones that are making PSVR happen. Here's some stuff for you.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I think there's the worry that they're going to treat it like they did the Vita, right? And the Vita comes out, they do a little bit for a few months, then it's gone.
Yeah.
They don't put it in their conferences. I'm glad they devoted a chunk to it. We still know that we're not going to get a bunch of AAA titles. Like
No.
we're not there.
That's
like,
gonna take time.
I was reading an article today that said some of the developers are still having trouble. Like when they were required to send the prototype units back, they weren't getting like the VR units for them to continue using. So they've been having trouble like keeping those in stock. So that's something that we may see a delay.
Throw
in
the
some
units
of
when
some
the
of the
devs had to
productions.
buy them as soon as they came out.
Yeah, basically. So it's one of those things that it's just going to be a slow progression, right? We're not going to
Yeah.
suddenly see AAA titles all over the place. These all look really cool and unique. Final Fantasy 15 fishing, no,
Yeah.
cares?
No.
no,
Just no.
that's
I agree with
stupid. I just I didn't get it. I don't connect
If you
with
wanted
it.
to make a fishing game for VR, just make a fishing game.
Don't why put
Why
it in
does
the
it gotta
Final
be Final
Fantasy?
Fantasy?
I don't get it. I don't know. So that's weird. But if you like that, great. Obviously, the big headline is Skyrim PSVR because
Yep.
they want to see how many platforms they can release on it before people stop buying it.
I saw a picture somebody said the next to release and had Skyrim on the N64.
Yeah, it looks cool. I've played through. I'm working through Skyrim right now, very very slowly on our channel.
You can see that.
And,
YouTube.com. That's inverted reality.
Yep. I am
I mean,
actually
you
doing.
played Skyrim
I'm
a
doing the
ton.
same thing right now.
Yeah,
Hey.
exactly. You love
I
Skyrim.
love
Race to the finish
Skyrim.
line. I promise you'll win.
So is Skyrim in VR enough to get you to go buy a unit?
I want to say yes. Honestly.
That's fair enough.
I mean, it's because it is the whole game.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
So, man, that just sounds really cool. Like you're still gonna have that control in your hand, still gonna be doing it. But boy, we played a demo in VR before it released. We went to our local Best Buy, and I was skeptic until we played 5 minutes. I played 5 minutes of the tank one, in
Yeah,
Battlezone.
I remember what it was.
And,
Right on.
oh, dude, I almost vomited with excitement. It was so cool.
Yeah, I played Eve Valkyrie, and it's the first thing I did. I looked down and I saw my hand, like saw the game character's hands. Like I realized I'm moving my head, and the first thing I did was try to move my hands to see if they would move. I'm like, nope, it's not quite that. But that immediately told me how immersive VR is, because I was in it for 30 seconds and like tried to move like I was the person there.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm glad that they're supporting it. I'm glad it's featuring in their conference, and I think we're going to see growth as it goes on.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. Are you excited for what VR
Yeah,
has in store, or do you think it's a gimmick?
I wish I had a computer that can actually run VR games with the Vive, but so PSVR is really my only option in the short term.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice to the biggest, I mean, besides the price, it's just as much as the console is. The biggest reason I didn't get one when it launched was there wasn't anything that appealed to me. And now seeing this little section of Sony's press conference with Skyrim, Bravo Team, and Moss, all of those titles look really appealing to me.
Yeah.
So this year might be the year that I get one. Of course.
Oh, yeah.
After I get the Xbox One S and after I get a Switch.
No big deal. Yeah, the
$1,000 later.
Yeah, it's exciting to me because I'm really hoping that they're going to continue to push through it. We're starting to see a change from tech demos to actual games.
Exactly.
So I'm excited for what it looks like next year and the year after that. It's just awesome. It's something that Sony didn't have to do, and they decided to, and it's a really quality headset versus the price of that you have to go into for the Vive.
Yes.
And then whatever else is out there that no one uses.
Such an easy access point, especially if you already have a PlayStation.
Yep, you just plug in and go.
Yeah. So
Easy.
at the most, it costs you $900 to $1,000 to have a complete VR setup.
Yep.
Whereas cheapest option on PC, you're looking at $2,000 at least.
Yep.
So next up is the new God of War.
Boom, done. I'd like to buy
subtitle.
2, please.
Yes, please.
Ooh,
Give me
boy.
one.
Man, it's just what's there to say? It's more of the same. It was a well-crafted trailer. We were sitting here and watching it with our wives, and you come in with like a camera. They had the audio come in, right, and you could hear the boat splashing in.
Yeah.
And then they kind of revealed it, and they had some cool lighting effects in the crowd. This was one of the presentations for a game they did really well. And then it comes up, and you got a weird camera angle, like from the butt end of a boat. You're like, what is this? What am I looking at? And it pans up, and you see Kratos' back. Then it pans over, and you see his son. And then it interspersing like combat with like discussion. And done, sold. It looks gory. I love the tighter camera angle, like closer in on Kratos.
The
than
whole
ever
cinematic feel of the game is amazing.
Yeah.
So
it's hard for them to do wrong with this game with how they presented it last year.
Yeah.
Remember the same situation last year, we were watching it, and like they started that song, we're like, man, that's familiar, that sounds like God of War. And then he steps out of the shadows, we're like, oh, it's God of War.
Yeah, it's impressive. It looks like that visceral combat, like he's still way overpowered and it just, mechanics look good. I get, but we're talking early 2018, we got a window, and I didn't think we'd necessarily get a window for this game.
Weird how you launch your second cinematic trailer and give a release window.
That's so weird.
Must be really hard to do.
Must be tough. Freaking idiots. So God of War, you play God of War at all? Maybe you've heard of it?
Yes, I did. I love God of War. It's been a long time since I've played them. Those are PS2 titles. Since I actually never owned a PS3, so I didn't. I think isn't God of War 3 is on PS3, right? I'm not getting that wrong.
Yep, 3 is a PS3
They
title.
did do a remaster recently for PS4, so you definitely need to play it.
I think I will, because I do want to get into this. Some of the stuff that blew me away was watching the combat and seeing the Kratos' son just get in on some of those combos.
Oh, yeah.
That's just like, what the heck?
Yeah, the addition in is like, is it just a part of, my question is it part of a combo you're doing? Is it an extra button you push? Is it whatever? But like having him like come in and intercede, there was a moment where he was like climbing the side of a rock, and there was like a surprise jump out, and his son reached over and stabbed him in the face with a knife.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's awesome. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm curious for the actual storyline. What's the motivation here to go and kill other gods of a different mythology? But
yeah,
I'm just really excited.
I think it'll be super cool.
It's one of my top games right there.
Moving on to different disappointments. Detroit Become Human.
Oh boy.
Not disappointing from how it looks, how cool the story I think is going to be, but for what we were just talking about, the second big cinematic trailer and no hint at any kind of release, anything. This could just be like a theory at this point, and we may never actually get it.
I saw an article today from Quantic Dream, where they were talking to Quantic Dream, and they said that the script right now is about 2,000 pages long. I don't know like scale of how long scripts
I
are,
couldn't
but
tell
that
ya.
seems
Does that mean we can't just like write 4 numbers on the end of it just to put a release window on it? 2021. All right, cool. I'll see it in 2021. Oh, just kidding. We bumped it up to 2019. hey, wow, the game's coming out 2 years early.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks really cool. I like the I like what it's about. It
Yeah.
looks really neat. We've now met 3 different protagonists. If you remember, we saw it E3. We saw some E3 2015. I think was the very first one with Kara, and then we had last year was somebody else. I can't remember his name, and then this guy was Marcus,
The police guy.
We've seen like 3, yeah, the police guy, and so we've seen 3 protagonists, all androids, all doing different things.
Yeah.
I'm super intrigued about it.
Curious how you bounce between their stories. Like,
Mhm.
you know, the guy we saw this year is leading the Android revolution. The guy we saw last year seems like he'd be on the side of the police and all this.
Yeah,
And then I don't remember the one from 2015, if
Yeah.
I'm being honest.
that's fair. It's
But-
because it was so long ago.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things. Like that guy might be like, "Hey, don't do this. I'm one of you guys. This isn't that bad," and whatever. But
What do you
I think
think?
it's cool.
I'm
What
honestly,
do you-
I'm honestly hoping that I'm really intrigued by it. I'd like to know more about how the game plays. I haven't really gotten too much of that from these trailers they're putting out. I'm also hoping that they keep talking about how your decisions affect the entire rest of the game, and I'm hoping we don't get like a Mass Effect 3 thing where it all boils down to one of 3 choices. I can't wait to see how that ripple effect flows through the gameplay. But
Yeah, I
I'm-
would hope
I'm
that
super
they would
intrigued.
do better than Mass Effect 3. I mean, Heavy Rain was pretty solid.
everyone was awesome.
So I'm just curious where, like, what the direction is going to be, how involved you're going to be with it, that sort of thing. So it looks really cool. I like it. This is kind of a weird thing, but my wife and I watch Grey's Anatomy. I'll admit it. And so, like, seeing him pop up, he's Jackson Avery from Grey's Anatomy. Like, oh, hey, look at that! Like, he looks like his real world character, or like his in real life actor, and he sounds like it's just cool.
His real world
character. It's Jackson Avery.
Oh my goodness.
Which I like it when games use popular voice actors and then like actually put their likeness into it.
Yeah.
I think it's just an
that
added
is good.
bonus for me.
All right.
So Destiny 2, we've talked a little bit about.
True.
I'm also annoyed by the exclusive stuff. It's cool because it benefits me, but I agree with you there that it kind of sucks you guys are a year out of stuff. So I just want to pass my condolences to you
Yeah.
I appreciate
As I-
that. I actually
Was
as I play these things anyways.
Yeah. Was the strike map and the weapon and the gear, was that year exclusive or
Yep.
strictly PlayStation exclusive?
1 year exclusive. They
Okay.
said until at least fall 2018. Same thing they did with the first game.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't like it, and I don't even know you can blame Bungie. I think that's more of an Activision move.
Yeah.
that's
So-
totally
Publisher.
Activision.
And I did see, and this could actually, in terms of the overall like exclusive content thing, I saw like a devil's advocate say like, what if it was Bungie came up and said, here's this game, this is what we're going to make, and Sony came in and said, hey, what if we gave you this much money and you make a little bit more just for us? What if it was never Bungie's call to make this and Sony came in and did it? Like, no one's ever going to tell us, obviously. That's a
No,
behind the
we'll
scenes
never
thing.
know.
But what if that's happening and then we're getting mad at the wrong people, and really Sony's back there like rubbing their hands together.
I mean, it's got to be all Sony at
Evil
this point.
laugh.
Like they go to Activision and be like, "Yo, they Activision and Sony meet in a back alleyway, and they're like, "Yo, I'll give you this extra money if you give us these 3 things for a year before you give it to the other guys." They're like, "Cool, we'll go tell the guys at Bungie to do it." Slides it into his wallet, lights a cigarette, walks away. Meanwhile, Bungie gets that news and they're like, "Wait a minute, we wouldn't agree to that." Be like, "Well, too bad. We're in charge of putting it out, so
Yep.
do it."
You big Destiny guy, Ravel?
I'm a huge Destiny guy.
Good man.
I can see the point of that devil's advocate thing. It still sucks that it happens.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
100%. I
Oh.
don't like it. It shouldn't happen. I just wish that there was a way for consumers to vote and to like
Yeah.
tell people we don't like this, but we still want to play the game. Like, I'm not going to boycott the game
No,
for one
of
stupid
course not.
strike. Like, I love the game.
let's
I
just boycott the strike.
I put 600, because it'd be so easy, right? Comes up in the playlist, back out.
Back out, back out, back out.
I mean, I put 600 hours into Destiny, and I still
Wow.
pick it up every once in a while and get back in. I love
I
it.
didn't-
It just, we couldn't get enough.
I
of
didn't
it.
get into it that hard. I actually did want to. So I got Destiny 1 on the Xbox, and I was ready to pre-order Destiny 2 for the PlayStation just because I kind of wanted the extra perks. It sold out. So
What?
it's
I guess we haven't
sold
tried
out
to
on
pre-order it
PlayStation
yet, so we didn't know.
4. So I got it coming for Xbox this year too.
Nice.
Uh,
Heck, that whatever works,
yeah.
you can always cancel it and change over and come play with us.
Come to the light side.
I might actually the PC release is delayed till the end of October.
Yep.
I'm kind of thinking about double buying it and going and
You
buying
know,
the PC when it comes out.
I am curious about that. As soon as I get my awesome gaming PC, Destiny will be on
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah, they showed a trailer from Nvidia It showed like a
Right.
60
I
frames per
saw
second
that.
4K trailer.
Oh my god.
It looked unbelievable, and if they have unlocked frame rate like they say they're going to, it just gets me jazzed.
Yeah.
Man. It's one of those things like I don't always care about FPS. We play on consoles. We know that there's going to be a handicap with it. That's fine. 30 FPS looks great, but then you go see it in 60 FPS. You're
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh,
It's like night and day.
I'd-
From what I've heard, it's like it's almost like playing an entirely different game from console.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just imagining like remembering how much time you put into your 3 characters. Like, all right, like I gotta do, daily strike with each character, weekly strike with each character, nightfall with each character, and raid with each character. Now 6 times.
Yeah.
If you get it on consoles and PC.
Yeah.
I don't honestly know what I
You
would
will be
do.
doing nothing with your life rather other than playing Destiny.
We'll see. I may just like switch, be like, all right, I'm good with PS4. I'm gonna switch to PC now. I don't know. It just depends. Now,
You'll get an earful from.
oh yeah,
from
I'll have,
our other
I'll have
friends
some
we
of our
play with.
friends and fans that'll be upset with us. Spider-Man.
Yes.
This was
my
the cream of the
God.
crop for
Yes.
plays. This is the big question mark, right? Everyone was wondering because there's hadn't been a good Spider-Man game since Spider-Man 2, which is depressing because that was a long time ago and a lot of games.
Long
Yeah.
time ago.
Did you play Spider-Man 2?
Yes.
I'm sure
Oh my
everyone
god,
did.
I loved it.
So in terms of comic book stuff, right? I'm starting to really get back into comic books, and I love superheroes. Right? Are you a big superhero
Yes.
kind of guy?
And I'm excited for this because Spider-Man from the comics was my favorite superhero growing up.
Yes, I like this guy. I also love Spider-Man. He's up there for me. It's Batman and Spider-Man. Right?
Yep.
Two obviously very different characters, but what? It looks amazing. They showed us another really well structured trailer. One thing
Yeah.
Sony and their developers have done really well is creating these trailers. Like everything was just so dynamic. We got to see a little bit of everything. Right? We got to see hand to hand combat. We got to see some web slinging. We got to see some stealthy kind of moves similar to like Arkham series.
Yep.
We got to see some high flying like cinematic slash quick time events
Yep.
that were very well executed. Normally I don't like quick time events. These ones seemed perfect.
Yeah, there was some hate floating around for the QuickTime events, and I saw the guys responded. They're like, "Hey, the QuickTime events are there to like punctuate the big cinematic stuff.
Mhm.
They're not there to be a main pillar of combat. What we showed was the variation of the QuickTime events that you'll see, and a little bit of where they pop in. We just shrunk it all into one section where there happened to be a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, that's cool with me.
I don't mind
I like the way it looks.
I don't mind the QuickTime events as long as they make sense. Like there was the big part when he caught that helicopter falling between the skyscrapers.
Yes.
It made perfect sense to
Oh,
toggle between
triggers.
the L1 and R1.
Yeah, I mean, see what's going to happen is in those QuickTime events. What's the option if you don't have a QuickTime event? It's a cinematic where you don't do anything except you watch.
Yep.
So they gave a good lead in to the QuickTime event, so you're not missing the prompt right away. Like they gave you time to prepare for it. It looked really good. It makes me think of God of War, like your boss, like QuickTime
Yes.
events. When you're tapping circle, you're repeatedly stabbing him in the face with your blades.
Yeah.
There's a very visceral response to what you're doing. That's what I saw here. Everything looks great.
Except for these are better than God of Wars, because God of Wars were very much dependent on you seeing them immediately.
That's true.
When they
God of
showed
War
up.
had a very short reaction time. The web slinging that was the big question mark.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
Beautiful.
Yes.
What stuck out to you about the web slinging? Because there's a couple
Oh
things.
jeez.
for me.
When I saw just watching during the gameplay just how there was weight to the webs he was like looping around guys. It felt so realistic and what's the word that I'm thinking of? It just felt there affected by the physics within the game.
Yeah.
It didn't look like just like a laser line just straight.
Yeah,
to
it didn't
the,
look like from one where it just like he moved, then all of a sudden there was kind of like webs around the other guys that just kind of like exploded into white just
Yep.
pixels that floated
Oh
around.
goodness. Yeah, I like the trap he set
Oh,
for one
yeah.
of the guys in that first segment where you're like, wow, what's that over there? And just sucked into like a bunch of web and then like plaster to the wall. I love it. For me it was the navigation when he's chasing the plane down. He cut corners, right? And instead of just sticking to the wall or like falling down, he just ran around the wall and it popped around the corner
Yep.
real smooth like.
He jumps and like grabs a hold of the building and just uses it to whip himself around, which lets you just move quickly around the corner, which I think is going to be an invaluable move.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
I'm
I'm so happy that Insomniac are doing this game because we've never seen Spider-Man move like this in a video game, kind of like vertical running across a building.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
it's awesome. It's what it should
Just
be.
makes sense.
Yeah,
it's how it's supposed to be.
it's awesome, and I'm happy as a Spider-Man fan that it's not tied to a specific movie, because that's what bogs down superhero games.
Yeah, it was something they came out with, said it's separate from any universe or comic book. It's its own thing.
Yeah.
So it's cool. And so I looked it up, and so because we were wondering, because we're not big comic book guys, so you see the trailer and then you see like this come back and it's two guys watching. They said, "Come on, let's go, Miles, let's go."
Oh, yeah.
And it turns around, and so it's actually Miles
Yes,
Morales.
Miles Morales.
In the comic books, he was. You help me out. You're a comic book guy, Ravel. Tell us who he is.
I don't know exactly who Miles Morales is, but Spider
Well, why do we even have you here?
for my good looks.
Oh,
Okay. That's fine.
No, Spider-Man is one of those superheroes that different people get to take the mantle of. It's not just Peter Parker himself. And Miles Morales is one of those characters that became Spider-Man over the run of different comic books. It's awesome because, I mean, it's nice to see a black character take on the role of these characters. And he's just a huge fan favorite. I remember before, moving off of video games a bit, when the new Spider-Man movie was coming out that would have tied into the Marvel movies, Donald Glover, people wanted to see him representing Miles Morales as Spider-Man on TV. Or movies. So it's nice to see that character in video games and in mass media that isn't just the comic books.
Yeah, they came out afterwards and said that it's not just an Easter egg, it's not just a cameo. They didn't say more on it, but I'm guessing there's going to be a chance to play as it. You know, we see him going toe-to-toe with a villain that looks like he's going to do some kind of damage to him, so maybe we see Miles Morales step in as Spider-Man for a little while. I don't know. He was, I looked it up, he was in the Ultimate Comics Spider-Man series. So he was in there for a little bit. He wasn't in the main universe. It was a separate continuity. He has been since been added to it, but like you said, fan favorite is Black Spider-Man. That hasn't happened. You know, you don't see that. So it's awesome. It's just a cool little nod to people that know that kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
we didn't, and then we forgot the name and forgot to look it up. And like idiots. Any other games that stuck out to you guys in the conference from PlayStation? I feel like we covered most everything.
Not really in the conference so much. We did kind of hit on almost everything.
I know we didn't. I didn't realize because the official conference started at 8:00 this time, but they had a pre-show roll start at 7, and it showed a couple games off. We saw stuff for Gran Turismo Sport, Crash Bandicoot, Ni no Kuni 2,
Say the Bandicoot.
Knack 2, and Hidden Agenda, a couple others. So they showed stuff, and we didn't know they were going to show stuff. Knack 2 looks interesting.
We played Knack 1.
Yeah.
It was fun enough.
Exactly. So there's some cool stuff there.
I'm excited for Crash. I do want to play Crash. I miss playing Crash.
Yes, Crash
Overall,
is awesome.
So Ravel, I know you you are a bigger Xbox guy.
Yes.
What did you think of the Sony conference?
I did want to add, it wasn't during the press conference, but it was the news from Sony at E3. Undertale is getting a PS4 and Vita release.
That's right.
I did want to mention that.
I
Just
feel like I
'cause-
heard that in passing somewhere. That's awesome.
Yeah, one of my favorite PC games. I'm happy to play. I'm happy to. I can't talk. I'm happy it's I'm happy it's coming to PlayStation.
You fit in here.
Yes.
It's a good RPG title. It's very unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This summer, so really soon, within the next couple months.
It's true. Yeah.
But my overall thoughts on the conference, it was okay. I mean, just a lot of games. A lot of these. I mean, obviously, these are real exclusives, not like what Microsoft pulled. A lot of them coming out next year. A lot of nothing really like major new, but overall I was impressed.
Hey guys, we had some technical issues with the podcast. James and I lost our audio from the last 30 minutes of the show. But basically all you missed is we recapped the Nintendo conference. And if you want more details as far as James and I's opinion on that, you head over to youtube.com/invertedreality. We have a whole playlist called E3 2017, and it's got all the coverage we've done from E3. There might be one more video either tomorrow or today, depending on when this video goes up. But thanks for subscribing and sharing, and we'll see you next time.